So let's suppose a night playing cards with our friends. Let's take a seat at the table and watch this button aside the number 3. And we check the center of the table and we receive these 3 cards. For example, the way 31 game is played, we have to add up the value of these 3 cards and see how much we can get near to 31. For example, here we have 14, 16. Considering we still have space, let's ask for another card. 24. So this first player stays here. Now the next player's turn, he asks for his 3 cards. So he has 10, and the Jack, Queen and King are also worth 10. So here we have 30, let's stay here. Next player. 4, Queen and a 4, 14, and this one is worth 11, 25. So let's risk one more. We receive 10, making a total of 35. And since we passed 31, we're out. And the fourth player. 10, 10, 4, making a total of 24. So yeah, we can risk it. Another card. 2. 26. So let's stay here. This player is the one that is nearest to 31, reaching 30. So this is the winner. At the end of the game we can take all these cards and return into the system in this hopper. Welcome to a new video of Big Brother 161, and today we will see how to build a deck of cards and how to build a redstone contraption to sort out these cards. Let's begin. You will see at the center of a table I have placed a shulker of the color of the carpets around because I like that decoration. But in case you don't have access to shulker boxes, you can even place a chest. The problem is that since this is a smaller block, it is difficult to reach. Or we can use the poor man's shulker. As you saw, we have a button to obtain a random 3 cards, and over here we have a button to obtain only 1 card. The pulse length of this button is the one that is going to allow to turn off this hopper just long enough to obtain 3 cards. But the time interrupted by this button leads over here, over this monostable circuit, leading to a very short pulse, just enough to retrieve 1 card. The heart of the contraption is this system of droppers that is looping around with this hopper over here. The items are just going around these droppers, and each time a dropper receives a redstone signal, it is going to randomly pick up an item and transfer it to another dropper. Over this board you can see the entire deck displayed. There are 13 cards for every symbol or color, and I know this looks more like a Uno deck, but let's suppose this is just a normal deck. So first I'm going to show you how to make each of these cards using banners. And for all of these we don't need any weird pattern, we just need this loom. First we have to do the top horizontal, then the middle horizontal, then proceed to do the 2 side verticals. And finally our contour. To make number 2, we have to do the base horizontal, then the top horizontal, with the base dye this rhombus over here, and with black this diagonal, and finally the base border. To build number 3, we need the base, the top horizontal, mid horizontal, right vertical, and the base border. For number 4, we need the left vertical, and with the base color, eliminate the bottom half. Then the mid horizontal, and the right vertical, and the base border. For number 5, we need the base horizontal, with the base color the rhombus, then the top horizontal, then the inverse diagonal, and ending with the border. For number 6 we need the right vertical. Then using the base color we eliminate the top half. Then we continue with the base horizontal, the mid horizontal, and the left vertical, and ending with the base border. To build number 7 we simply need the top horizontal, this diagonal, and the base border. Number 8 has a lot of steps, but is very intuitive. We just need to do these 3 horizontals, right and left verticals, and finally with a base border. Number 9 is very similar to number 6. We just need to do the left vertical, eliminate the bottom half with the color, then we build the top horizontal and the mid horizontal, then the right vertical, and ending up with a base border. For number 10 we're going to do the following. We start with the border, then the mid vertical, then with the base color we eliminate the left half, and ending up with the left vertical. For the jack we need this inferior left corner, then the vertical middle, then the top horizontal, then the border. For the queen we start with the left and right verticals, the top and bottom horizontals, then the base border, ending with inferior right corner. And finally, for the king, the left vertical, then both diagonals, ending up with a border. As you saw, we did it with one color. You can do pretty much the same with the other 3. And that's how we obtained the entire deck. As you can see here, you can store it on a double chest or in 2 shulker boxes. So the next part of the tutorial is how to build the redstone contraption and the game room. To start, this is the list of materials we're going to need to build this. So on this half you're going to see the materials are used to build a game room. You can vary this since the decoration is up to you. And the next part is all the redstone components for the contraption. And finally the tools we will need. Now, the first thing we need to do is to choose the center of our game room, which is represented by this shulker box. Next we choose a spot and dig a 2-block deep hole. After that we place 3 droppers facing up. And over the last one, the shulker box. In my design we can complete the table using these upside down stairs all around the shulker box. And after that build this platform as to build the floor of the room, from the center extending 3 blocks away in each direction. And after that, using these trapdoors to build the chairs. Then completing with spruce doors as the back of the chairs. And finally using this trick to place the minecarts. Over the slimes we place the rails. And over the rails, the minecarts. Then we just remove these blocks and pick everything up. So we come to one of the sides and dig up this trench. And we also dig up towards one of the sides. Here we place a block over this comparator to take a signal from this dropper. Then facing up a sticky piston, over this comparator an observer, and our 2 observer clock with another observer facing on the other way. Towards the bottom dropper we place a hopper, and in the rest of the trench we place these 5 ice blocks. facing the ISA dropper, over the dropper these two slabs, in order for the items not to escape. And just in front of the dropper we place the water. You will see the water flowing towards the room. So let's finish up the design for the room. In my case, I left a ceiling height of 5 blocks. In the 6th block, we start to build the ceiling. We leave a hole in the center. Then place this block over here, and under it the button. Then let's place these chains in order to build the lamps as part of my design. And our outdoor lamps we place designs. To continue with the redstone contraption, we place these hoppers just aside this dropper, over here. So let's take out some dirt and build a hole here. Aside this hopper we place a top slab, and then 4 blocks over here. Over this block another block, then a redstone torch, then 3 redstone dust towards the hopper. And then this slab is over here in order not to deactivate the bottom hopper. To build the loop, let's place some droppers facing this way. Then beside the first one, a dropper here. And over here, an additional 3 droppers. And this dropper is going to feed the hopper facing this direction. What this hopper does is it creates a bottleneck towards the items. Remember that with a very fast clock, these droppers can transmit items twice as fast as a hopper can. So in this case it's easier to take an item just under this dropper that is feeding the dropper of the loop, because it will always remain full. We place 3 blocks here, and this redstone connection is going to help us to give a signal to this bottom dropper here. Here a block, here another one. Let's take out this one. And just over these ones we place redstone. And then let's cover up all these droppers with redstone also. We're going to place another blocks here. And over this, the redstone signal. Here we place a lever, then a sticky piston facing up. Then here a repeater and redstone. Now we're going to build a small platform here to build a monostable circuit. So here a repeater, then a comparator feeding the block. Redstone, redstone, here, and the third tick. Just over here is where our redstone block is going to power. Then we're also going to take out these blocks. So here we're going to place a block, comparator, comparator, then redstone on these 3 blocks here. Our pulse extender. And now we're going to complete our 2 observer clock. Which is going to activate this circuit over here. Over this block redstone, then over this comparator on our block. Over here on our block a little higher. Then we make a small line just over this point. Complete the redstone. And towards this inner side we place these 2 blocks. And here a button. This is the button to retrieve 3 cards. And here we're going to signal it. So now let's go to connect this top button over here. A small redstone line. So let's take our slabs and head towards this direction, preferably over this redstone line down there, just to build in an orderly manner. This redstone line up here is for the 1 card retrieval. Then move 1 block over here. Remember that the piston with a redstone block descending is going to arrive over that block over there. So now let's complete our redstone line. Let's go downstairs, place a sticky piston facing down, then go up again, and over the piston place a redstone piece. And then on the sticky piston these 4 slime blocks. At the end, a redstone block. When the piston activates, this redstone block is going to descend, activating the monostable circuit and the pulse extender. This is a circuit over here, which is then going to activate this small clock. And this monostable circuit over here is the one that is going to allow us to retrieve only one card. Finally, feeding this hopper over here, we're going to build a small line of hoppers that is coming from the room. Where once the game is concluded, this is where we are going to give back our cards. To finish up decorating the table, don't forget to place these carpets over here. And the final touch. We come here with our shulkers, filled up with our cards, and just placing them over these hoppers is the way we're going to get the cards into the system. We're going to see that the loop is starting to saturate. We have to manually activate the clock. And you will see that the cards are going to sort out automatically. We just have to wait for a few seconds, and there. Some of the cards from the 4 symbols, or the 4 colors, sort out uniformly. And it seems this shouldn't take more than a minute. And there. This is our system setup. And of course you can decorate this room any way you want. I left this outdoors, just so we can see the system, but of course in your case, on a survival world, you can hide out all the rest of contraption. For example here, it is built a bit differently from the way I showed you, but the buttons are there, the chairs, the table, and of course in this case I built a bigger table, which is made for 6 players, with a few additional decorations. Let's try to build this and tell me how you do. This has been BigBrother161, and remember, I will be watching.